everybody's attention. Let me say, first of all, thank you for coming out. I told Ruthie, this is a good crowd. And I believe we are well able to make a change in this city. I believe that. We've got it. My name's Tony, and I've lived in Robertsdale for 16 years. I love this area. Evidently, a lot of people love this area. They're moving in as quick as they can get here. But I have the honor of introducing our mayoral candidate that I believe is ready to lead our city forward.
Yes. Amen.
She is a servant, has been. She's got a servant's heart. She served this city. She loves the people here, and she is she's ready to lead. I believe that. Ready to lead and to preserve our heritage. And we love our heritage here in Robertsdale. In Baldwin County, we love it, and we often feel like we're losing it. But I believe that Ruthie Campbell is going to help us, yes, move forward, but maintain the heritage that we're so proud of. So tonight I want you to join me in welcoming someone who's ready to lead with integrity, with vision and determination. So let's really welcome the next mayor of Robertsdale, Ruthie Campbell.
Tony, thank you. I would love for a big plug to Tony and to Pastor Wes for leading us in our blessing and our prayer, and to Waters for the facility and for that awesome fish. Let me hear it. Thank you all so much. I am so glad to be here, and I am so thankful that you're here. Thank you so much for coming out tonight. It means everything to me. The support and your love, and the good Lord is what will get me places, and that's where we're needing to go tonight and in the future. And I thank you again so much. I'm going to talk to you about all kind of things here in the city and my intentions and how excited that I am and the way that I'm looking forward with my vision. So one of the first things I want to do, though, is just talk about our city just a little bit as I move into the next phase. But I wanted to go ahead and knock a couple things out of the ballpark that we don't like to even think about, which is, and if you have been able to be at council meetings, or if you've been able to be where you've read any of the minutes, that you will have known, and if not, you will now, that in January, we will be entering into a new contract with our electricity. Our old contract was 8 years long, and it ends the end of December of this year. So after 8 years of the pricing not changing, the kilowatts stayed the same for us, we will have a change in January. So we have to be thankful for the last 8 years, but know that that is coming. So please know that. And before I go any further, to please let you know, and next we'll talk about sewer. So to let you know that over here at this table, Cindy, if you'll just put your hand up in there, Cindy, she has paper and pencil over here, and whether it's after the meeting or in time to come, I am so happy to meet with you, to come to your place, to meet with you, meet with groups, meet with whoever you would like to meet with, and talk with you about anything that you have, any questions. Something that I don't know, I will find out. So anything with electrical or with the sewer coming up or anything else I talk about, you just let me know. So with our water and our sewer, y'all, I know we've had a time. So just to start out, Robertsdale's been very active in grant researching and have been awarded $13 million. USDA has done a lot for us, and we've been working on this for a while. But before I go any further with what our upgrades are bringing, I do want to say, I know somebody in here has got all kind of issues in your backyard or just around the corner, something you smell, something that you're around. and it's the sewer. And we do have a lot of issues that we're working on, and I am so sorry for that. But first of all, I want you to know, where I live on East Silver Hill Avenue and College Street, I live on that corner, and behind me is our 24.7 acre land that's our pasture for our horses and our cows. On that 24 acres is 4 manholes. They're not in the woods, they're outside of the tree line, and they go all the way through the property. So every time we have those bad rain events, every time that we have overflows, it's happening right in my own backyard. It doesn't matter if I'm on council or not, it's happening to myself as well. And everybody that's upset about it, I can promise you I'm right there with you, because all 4 flow over every time. And whenever you're going down to the barn, you're going to feed, going to walk out there, pet some of them, do whatever you're going to do every single day, do something with them. A lot of times there's white up and down their legs where they've just been walking through, and that's what, the white is just remnants of what's came out. So I can promise you wholeheartedly what you feel, I feel. I'm just grateful it's not my backyard like there are some people here in our city limits that it is. But I'm with you and would love to discuss and talk more with you afterwards if you would like to. Again, Cindy is right over here. Please just let her know your name and number, and I'll call you. But our water and sewer, Robertsdale, with this grant, a portion of this money is going towards the upgrades on the wastewater treatment plant, which is out on Wilter Street. To mention one in particular, we will be adding 2 new clarifiers that will help increase capacity from 1 million gallons a day to 2 million gallons a day of sewage. This project is expected to be complete by midsummer of this year. Now that's a lot. The upgrades that's going to happen with new screening that we've already had installed and more work done to it with the flow, hopefully and prayerfully, it's going to take a lot of impact and a lot of pressure off of all these other lines that are coming down and closer to the wastewater treatment plant. So then as well, another phase is the sewer collections system upstream from the wastewater treatment plant, and it will include upgrades to the sewer force mains that's along College and Wilter Streets, as well as the gravity sewer improvements that's between Wilters and East Silver Hill Avenue. Now, knowing those streets, that's where those lines are going. That's where a lot of the 13 million is going to, so much of it. More of it has already went. Maybe you've seen in Robertsdale in town, some of our back alleys. Just for instance, the first thing that comes to mind is where Sweats is, behind Sweats. And that back alley, that's all been tore up, all that asphalt that was there, all the dirt's all torn up, and that's the improvements that's happened there in some of that downtown area. And again, there's so much talk about that. I will do it with you at any point, any time. So our ball fields, how many of us out here have kids that are playing ball or grandkids here in Robertsdale? The ball fields, we have had issues with the drainage for a long time, and it's gotten really, really, really bad. Our boys field, where there's 4 fields, 2 of them drain, the other 2 don't. We don't have that installed. The 2 that don't, whenever we have big rain events, and not necessarily to rain the whole county out, but big rain events, the 2 fields will clear up, the other 2 will not, and you have to travel, go all the way as far as Gulf Shores to play at other municipalities that are open that night and will allow you to. So everybody's making last minute decisions, trying to hurry and get to where you're going. We do have pipes. This is going to be laid, and finally the drainage and all will be installed and put in. But y'all, it's on the top of my list because for years, since my grandson that's 9 has been playing t-ball, and even before then, but since he has, it's been every single twice a week for spring and fall seasons to be out there and to see what everybody's having to go through and what we're doing. It's coming, just want you to know. So our police department, we'll talk a little bit about our police department. Thank God for our police department. You know, our police department and our volunteer fire department are 2 departments that we appreciate, and when they come up down the road, we see them, we know who they are, we appreciate them so much, but not until we really need them. Whenever, a fire breaks out, something terrible happens there, or the police has to come to your door for whatever reason that's not a good reason, those 2 instances alone at that point, then is when you start appreciating them. And folks, they do a lot. Our police department here in Robertsdale is all over. I see them hiding at my daddy's corner, a whole lot under a tree. They're not really hiding, but they are at that intersection. You can see them. They're hiding in plain sight, I should say, while they sit. But they will pull over more people as you just drive straight on through or come to a little stop and keep on going. They're quick. And on East Silver Hill Avenue, that's one road for sure that needs a lot of attention, as well as many others in the city. But for East Silver Hill Avenue, I don't know how many drive East Silver Hill Avenue to the Beach Express or Wilter Street to the Beach Express. But when folks come off the Beach Express, and especially folks that are following their GPS and do not know the area, when they start coming down those roads heading west, East Silver Hill Avenue most likely heading to Fairhope, and Wilter's heading on into Robertsdale, the GPS taking that way, they're flying. People are flying up and down those roads. And the county has 45 mile an hour up to the city, and the city has 35. And where the 35 starts, they're still going 55 to 60 easily, and that's one of the slower speeds that they'll be going. Living right there on that corner, I'll hear them late in the evening, early in the morning, and during the day. People just flying by, completely missing the stop sign, just running right on through it, or coming to a little stop and then hauling tail, going from there on into town to 59. Big trucks as well. It's such a scary sight. One of the things that we need is out on East Silver Hill and Wilters, just two in particular, is the flashing light that says slow down, go 35, this is what you're going, whatever it is that we get, whatever it says. We need those. We need those as we're coming into the city limits there on the side of the road. We need those. And then as you keep on going, we need, both of those roads need another sign that says stop sign ahead. So many people just don't know. Other people don't care. But if you've got your stop sign ahead, well, then you've got that much more power to give a ticket or whatever it is, whenever the cops pull you over. But we need more of that. That alone is for the safety of folks. Now our sidewalks are down on East Silver Hill Avenue, the same on Wilters. A lot of it is real close to the highway, if not right on the highway on Wilters, but they're so close, and it's just not really a good, safe environment. But since we do have them and people will walk on them, we've just got to stay on top of that. And that's something that we need and we don't have. For our fire department, just roll on into them, talking about the two of them, they in the police department, and what we appreciate about them. Just to let you know, our fire department, this past year, Robertsdale's little volunteer fire department, 785 calls, just last year. So if you think about that for a minute, 365 days a year, and they had 785 calls. Surely maybe there was 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 days that there was no calls, so that puts even 2 or 3 more calls a day on other days. They work so hard, and until they have to come to your house for the reason you don't want to see them, do we really appreciate them. But as they run up and down those roads and those sirens are going, all you can do is quick like say a prayer and just hope and pray all is okay. Don't get in your car and run down and follow them like you think, like we used to think we do, to see what was happening, where something was. Another statistics, over the past 8 years, the volunteer fire department's volume call has jumped up to an incredible 75.78%. 75.78% is what their calls have jumped up to. They're a working little department, a working little group. They do for us and they do for the other cities. They go and they help whenever they're called out, and other cities come and help Robertsdale. And I'm very, very proud of our volunteer fire department and what they do for us. Very. October is Fire Prevention Month. You might know that. There's a lot on TV or on commercials about it. And they take one Saturday of a month, the fire department does, and they have an open house for folks to come see the department, have the trucks pulled out, little kids to come in and see the fire trucks, get up in them. They have the little plastic fire hats. They just love it so much. And they also have activities for the kids to do with other fire little buildings and stuff for them to go in and see how things are extinguished and taken care of. And they walk them through and give them a little tour and talk to them about it. And they also will serve hot dogs and hamburgers. They do a lot for us. They do a lot for our community. And just so thankful, for them to even want to reach out and do a community outreach when they're in the middle of getting calls like they did. When I first came on in 2012, the next 2 years, the city had an appreciation evening for our volunteer fire department, and we had a meal for them, and we sat, we visited with them, we talked with them, we thanked them, and the mayor and all the council would stand up individually and say something in appreciation for them, their participation, for their want to, for their care. Volunteer has one big definition. It's exactly that, to volunteer. And we did that those 2 years, and we haven't done it anymore, and I would love to implement that back so much because they appreciated it so dearly. Transparency. Transparency. This is what I want to do in City Hall. I want to. I've been visiting other city halls. I've been visiting other city councils, and I have brought a lot back home that I would like to implement. First of all, we definitely need to go live. We need our city council to go live. We need our zoning board of adjustments to go live. We need the planning commission to go live. We need all of them to go live. And the next thing that will come with all that being live is, when you come in and you sit down, there'll be 2 TV screens where the first several rows can see really well, and then about halfway back where folks are sitting, 2 more TV screens up in the air, and those TV screens will display the agenda. Item number 1, there it will be. When we go to item number 2, there it will be. Everybody will see what we're talking about and then hear what we're talking about instead of hearing it all at one time and not necessarily stating what the agenda item is loud enough for them to know. We might say something, but to actually see the 1, 2, 3, or A, B, C is what will make a big difference. And with all that, we have a podium. So the podium, I always want the podium right out front, just like this. And a microphone that's with that podium on, and microphones where the council sits on. We have them on where everybody can hear. Nobody has to ask, what did you say? Or please come up. We can't hear. Those microphones are there for a reason, and they will make such a difference, such a difference. So next, and y'all listen to this. I'm really excited about this additive. Next, we'll open up council with prayer as always, Pledge of Allegiance, and then roll call. As soon as roll call's over, before we go into the body of the government business for the city of Robertsdale, we will. It's time for you to line up. Anybody out there that's come to city council can come and get behind that podium and line up in front of us. What's on the agenda? They have 3 minutes to talk about something on that agenda, and there will be a timer, 3 minutes. They'll see it, and everybody will see it, and we'll see it up behind the council chambers. They can say anything that's on the agenda, as I mentioned, whether it's, I'm excited about this dog park that's going to come. I hope that all y'all will vote for that. Thank you. I'll have a seat. The next person. I do not want us to do this, whatever this item agenda is. I sure hope that you don't vote that way. Go have a seat. There will be no interaction at that point. However, everybody can have a say before council even begins about what's on the agenda. Then we'll hold the government of the body council. And as soon as that's over, right before we close, once again, everybody can line up behind this podium, and then they have 3 minutes to be able to say what they like or don't like that we just voted on, or why they're happy or they're not happy, or they wish we had done this or done that. Or they can walk up and say, I would love to see a swimming pool in our city. Thank you very much. I'm going to sit down. Anything that they want to at the end of the meeting, whenever they come up and they talk. Anything. But there's no interaction, so we're not carrying on with interaction at that point in time. But everybody will have a voice. It will all be live. Everybody has a voice before and twice during council. Everybody can get up and everybody can talk. And I just love that, implementing that into the city, because that is one of the biggest issues that we have and that we see, and I'm just really, really excited about that. So that will happen. That was only 2 lines, y'all. I made all that out of 2 lines. So with that, Monday, November 3rd is the first city council meeting of the new term. That is a 6 o'clock meeting with 5 o'clock workshop. The very first thing, one of the things I will have at that very first meeting will be to entertain the council with reasons why I feel we need to vote to have that second meeting of the month changed to 6 in the evening, to where everything is 6 in the evening. I understand years ago, the council changed it, they voted and changed it, and I understand there was a group of folks that couldn't come due to work shift, the night shift, their work, night shift, the day shift, how they went back and forth and they couldn't make meetings. So I understand that's some of the reasons why they did change that out. But nowadays, we've got two big in Robertsdale, and hopefully people change out on shift. We'll be able to change out, every other month or something. But I would love to see both those meetings at 6 o'clock, because the zoning board of adjustments is at 6, and so is the planning commission. Everything will be at 6 o'clock in the evening. That will never be misunderstood again, or what time or when. People will come at that third meeting or call and say, well, I just drove by there, nobody's there. When is the council meeting? I said it was 8 o'clock in the morning. People just don't know. So anyway, that's one of the first things that I want to do that first night is entertain the idea for the council to talk about, because council will have to approve it. So that's one thing. And next of all, our businesses. Our businesses are one huge lifeline for the city of Robertsdale. Same as they are anywhere else, but our Robertsdale, that's a large line for us, and we appreciate our businesses. We need to do more for our businesses. I have so many ideas that I would like to implement. However, to let you know, March is not over, so within 3 months, it's not quite 3 months yet, we've had almost 1,000 business licenses that have been purchased for the city of Robertsdale. So before it's over with, last year we had like 2,500 throughout the whole year. So we have a lot of businesses. We have a lot of businesses that come and go, that still get licensed in Robertsdale, that are not stationary here, but we also have a lot of businesses that are here. And that's pretty exciting. That's a lot. Each year, if anybody has ever been able to attend the Chamber of Commerce's annual banquet, it's every year in January, the third Thursday of every month, of every January, all the municipalities come and bring forth a business of the year. And Robertsdale, Summerdale, Silver Hill, and Loxley all chooses a business, and they're honored that night. And what's so good about that? That's a big evening. It's a house full of people. There's a lot going on that evening, a great meal. The chamber has a lot going on. But when the mayor stands up and introduces the business of the year to the audience, sometimes they know, sometimes they don't. But when they come up, that's their opportunity to get to stand up and say a few words to the entire crowd, thanking everybody for the support that they gave them and what they can do for the city, for all the citizens. And it's a night where they can appreciate everybody and we can appreciate them. So we do that with our businesses, but there's more. We can do more. You will see me, you probably see me already, but you will see me engaged in businesses. I go just about to every business anyway, for some reason or another. But you will always see me in there as playing as mayor. You will always see me in there as mayor, and letting them know that not only I myself personally, but through the city, am supporting them. So that's big. Veterans Day. We have Veterans Day November the 11th every year. And if it's a Saturday or Sunday, a lot of times the Senior Center, our Robertsdale George Purvey Thames Senior Center, has Veterans Day, a real nice program. And I would love to see us have, where we can celebrate this as well, that a Robertsdale Veterans Memorial. We have talked about having one for years. We've talked about it, and we'll talk a little bit, and then we don't talk anymore. We've talked about where it could go, and then we don't talk about it again. But we need that. Whenever you drive into Loxley and you look over at their park and you see that, their memorial park right there in their park, it looks so good, and it makes you feel so good, veteran or not. Now, when you're a veteran, surely it makes you feel a whole lot better. It makes us all feel good. When you go to Silver Hill, straight out of Robertsdale, the Lobster, Silver Hill, man, theirs looks awesome. In a little bitty town like that, that group got together and put that nice display up. We need to go ahead and have that, push that, have that up for our veterans, and have where we have participation out there doing things as Loxley and Silver Hill does as well. Our Memorial Day program, I would love to see our Memorial Day program memorialize the deceased, for the families to come and memorialize the deceased, give a Bible out and do that. Right now we honor the living, and that is just fine, but I would rather memorialize the deceased on Memorial Day, and then on November the 11th, partner with our senior center and let the Robertsdale put it on with them. And all our honorees are living on our east, then that's what we would have them to come to. They have a very nice program. If you've never been, please try to plan to go this year. Miss Ruth, you know what I'm talking about. A lot of folks, and Miss Bobby, they have a nice program. They have music, and they have pinning a lot of time with all the veterans. They have several things that they talk about, and they have a meal that the senior center fixed themselves. It's just a really nice day. And I would love to see the city partner with them and do more of what the city would normally do when we do during Memorial Day. So that's what I would love to do with Memorial Day and with the Veterans Memorial. And you know, speaking of the senior center, Robertsville Senior Center, I don't know if any of y'all have ever been in there before, but anybody can go. You don't have to be a senior. And I'll never tell if I have one or not, but I go. That is a laugh for sure. But anyway, the Senior Center, Robertsville Senior Center, their main objective is for the citizens of Robertsdale. You have to be a citizen of Robertsdale. They will come, they will pick you up, and they will take you to any medical appointment that you have within Baldwin County. If it's the doctor, if it's the dentist, if it's for vision, whatever it is, in the honor of the name health, they will pick you up and they will take you to that appointment. They will wait until you're finished and they will bring you home. Again, it is within the county that they're able to do that for the doctors, but that's a service, y'all, that's great. You know, not everybody knows about that service. It's a great something for folks that just can't get around, that either, again, do not have transportation or have it but can't drive. So also they'll have monthly birthday bashes, a lot of fun, big potluck dinners. Ooh, those potlucks are good. Bingo, they have bingo, they have a lot of fun bingo, dominoes. They have lunch and learn with speakers. Miss Mary Williams, who now is over the senior center, just puts a lot together and makes it a lot of fun for everybody. If people just, you know, with people coming, I say if people, they have packed out houses. But it's a lot of fun. They have so many other events. They do have a calendar, and the calendar, you can pick it up there at the senior center, or they'll email it to you. If you just decide you've never been there before, you have, but you'd like the calendar to know what they're doing, which is almost every day, an event or something's happening, they'll email it to you. So please take advantage of that, or just know about that in days to come if you decide that you want to visit them or know what's going on. I would also love to see, the city of Loxley does this, and I just love it. Our senior center quarterly to have that center for all the pastors in the city of Robertsdale to come for luncheon, a little luncheon that day. And for myself to be there, myself as the mayor, to be there with them, to talk to them, answer any questions they might have, but mostly for them to tell us, anyone that's there, to tell us what their needs are, what they see. You know, a lot of folks will go to a church or a minister or hear through the grapevine and will get to the pastor, and they know a lot of things that we don't in the community. And there might be some things that we could do, or our senior center could do for some of them. Just, you never know. But to be up to date with the spiritual side and know what is happening and what we might could do, but just, you know, to know. So I would love to see that. I would love to have that quarterly. I'd love to. There is a priority list. I bet a lot of you don't know that the city of Robertsville has a priority list. Now you wonder, what would that be? You know what priority means, but what is this priority list that the city of Robertsville has? If you don't know, Robertsville has what is called a priority list that you can call and ask about if this is applicable to you. If you, for instance, this is for instance, are on oxygen, and say for instance, someone's driving by, runs off the road, clips the electrical pole and hits the ground, so everybody's out of electricity for, a while, for several hours. If somebody is on the priority list that lives in that area and they've lost that electricity and they do not have anything portable and it comes straight through, the line from the electricity, then the city of Robertsdale will, they know that because you're on that priority list, they will check with you and they will bring out a generator if it is needed. The last thing they want is the panicking that might have, for instance, again, if someone is on oxygen, the panicking that might have, or especially if you're by yourself, or even worse, if it just gets too bad and you haven't done anything or called anybody. That is something the city of Robertsdale offers. I learned about that whenever my Uncle George was on oxygen for the years that he was on oxygen. I knew about that priority list, and I think it's a wonderful service, just like what the Senior Center does. For folks that come, it's a wonderful service, and I would love for people to know that and call and check on just what is applicable for the priority list. It's not necessarily if you're on oxygen. That was just an example. Okay, you know what? Somebody said on Facebook, I know this lady, that I went ahead and said, yes, we will have one. And the reason I did is because a few years back, somebody came and said, we want a dog park. And so we started talking about the dog park. And we talked about where a good dog park would be in the city of Robertsdale, which was over by where the amphitheater is going to be. Whether that ends up being the best place or not, we did talk about a location. So I feel really, really, really sure that we will be able to entertain the council at that time whenever we can put in a dog park and have a dog park. So much has to be passed by council, and so if I don't continue to say that, I mean to, because council does have a say over a lot of the city government and how it's ran. But a dog park, how about it, y'all? Who wants a dog park? We won't have to keep going to our other surrounding cities to go to one. We'll have it with a side for big dogs and a side for little dogs, and several other things that I've learned all about. But we will have a dog park. I wanted to. I'm not necessarily talking about the Mardi Gras Association, but I wanted to say. Next year, on January 24th, this upcoming year now, I guess you'd say, 2026, January 24th, the Order of the Misfits is a newly organized Mardi Gras organization, and they will be parading on the 24th in Robertsdale. It'll be the very first parade that Robertsdale will ever have. What I would love to see them do, I have a big idea, and I just can't talk about all my ideas because I have to be up there and I have to say, council, what do you think about this? However, I've got an awesome idea for during the day before that night's parade to have an event, and you might think about it, just don't holler out loud, but an event, and it's as if it's a community service project, but it is another way to give back to the city of Robertsdale. However, I would love to do it on that day. And it would be the first for both things on that year in January. Would love to see that. With that being a parade, we're talking about our Christmas parade. We all love our Christmas parade, thanks to the Robertsdale Rotary Club for all the years putting on that Christmas parade. They have went through the rigor over years when things were good, but then when things went bad. But they have put on awesome Rotary Club parades for our Robertsdale's Christmas parade, and we thank them very much. And our Honeybee Park, we used to do this, and some of you might remember, but we haven't in a while. There was other organizations that helped us or that actually stepped in and did this, but we used to have events during the day in Honeybee Park before the parade, the night of the parade. I would love to see our Honeybee Park filled with people. Hopefully it's not freezing cold, but filled with people. And the road behind the pavilion to have the food trucks there, to have food trucks there, plenty to eat, plenty to drink, but to have some tables set up out there and chairs, and whether we have a little high rise, but to have the big screen and invite the different choirs from church or the youth choirs or youth groups, have people to do skits, locals to play some music, and have events for the whole afternoon leading up, and then have the food trucks and sit there and have a family fun day, and then end it with the parade coming down. Of course, after the parade, we always have Mr. and Miss Santa Claus that is there under the pavilion now. It's under our pavilion, but I would love to see that and have something. We don't have the tree lighting, and that's a thought, but we don't have tree lighting, and we don't have anything now beforehand. We need to have something. We need to have something to bring the people together, to do something in our city in Robertsdale instead of always loading up and going to Foley or Fairhope or the different city municipalities and watching the tree lighting or what they're doing. We need to do that. We need to go back to doing it. We need to do that. And there's a lot more I've got planned out there as well, if it could just happen. I also then would like to see this past parade. I don't know why this year was so different, but it was. For years, I have rode the city float, which is the first float that comes down, and on that 5-lane road on Highway 50. 59 from the school all the way to the other side of the Honeybee Park. That's as good as the 5-lane until it separates, and then it's the 2-lane. However, all in front of the high school, all the way to where the road splits, you can just about hand people your candy. We need barricades up bad, really bad. They were running to both sides of the float, and we were the first one out of 100. There was a little over 100. Usually every year there's right at 100 over floats that are following us, and folks just, public safety, that's one huge public safety thing that we need for our Christmas parade and then our Mardi Gras parade, you know, with that going on as well. We need that. That's just public safety. With 90 something more floats that were coming after ours, I just couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. But you know, people are different now, and they're not as scared. I don't know if they're not as scared, but we're running up to both sides, and it was just so scary. We need those barricades. Then our Coliseum stays booked up. Our PCK stays booked up. You can always still check to see when a date's open here, a date's open there. They're wonderful places. I love them. My family were part of who built the PCK. My mother's family, my mother is full-blood Czechoslovakian from Silver Hill, and they helped, my family helped build that, and the little hall as well. And so that means so much to me, outside of just a beautiful civic center for Robertsdale. But at the Coliseum, the arena in the back, there's a few things we really need to work on there, and one of them is every time when an event is over, and we have a lot of, they keep the ground ran over with the tractor and the skid steer, no, what is it? Anyway, they are steadily working the ground up because we always have people coming out, running barrels, and working their horse in the arena. So the dust goes everywhere, but we do not, whenever there's a new event coming, we have not been the best at keeping the place clean and cleaning up those bleachers where people can come in and sit down. And I know this. I'm not just saying what I think, I know this. But that needs to be done. You know, everybody means something. If somebody's rented it, that's their money that they have, paid just like everybody else did, and they need to be clean. An announcer box. We need an announcer box. We've talked about it. It was talked about when we first got the property, but we really need an announcer box. When you're up, when you're up and the announcers are up there, whether it's for a rodeo, whether it's for an event, there's other things that happen in the arena. An announcer's box it does so much more whenever you're trying to spot things, tell things, talk to the audience, and what's going on. And we have a mixing board for the sound system. We have that, but we're not going to put it in until we get that announcer box. So we need an announcer box. We've needed it all along. We don't have anything. We have to pull something up there, or somebody else does, or somebody might leave something for the next people to use. But we need an announcer box, and we need that. Also, the speakers. If you came to any events and you sit out there, those speakers can really blare in your bad, in your ears bad, especially if you're kind of close to them. You know, if they were put on a platform and then hung up, I learned a lot going to the Jennifer Claire Moore Foundation Rodeo, and when they came in from Foley, and they, for their big events that the last 2 years they've had in August, and they brought in their own upgrades and did their own things, and they were class act. They really were. And there's a lot that we can do, and one of them, for instance, then are those speakers. How we can do what they did and hang them up, and it'll be much more even, and they won't be blaring right there in your ears where they stay. In closing, I want to say that I advocate against a separate utility board for the city of Robertsdale. And it isn't a plan. It isn't a plan. And council wasn't doing well this term to vote for it. So I advocate against it. And I do not think it's in the best interest for our city and for our citizens. I would love to ask my children to come up for a few minutes. Carissa, if you and Grady would come. Did Kyle leave? No. Oh, he's been outside while I'm talking. Isn't that just Where's Grady? Marissa. She's my little right-hand girl. And I'm so thrilled to have a family that supports me. My daughter, my son's here, and my grandchildren that I wanted just to have them to come up here. But I've got my sister here, and my in-law, my niece, and my niece-in-law, and my nephew. Yeah, well, I'm getting to my brother. I was just there you are. You were over there. So my brother David is here, and I'm so thankful you got to come. My mom and stepdad just couldn't get out this evening. So my son wasn't always late, but I guess he is now. Golly, he was way back in the back 40. Boy, that makes me feel real good. I will say he supports me, but how much, I don't know. Playing baseball outside. I ruined it, didn't I? Y'all, I want to introduce to you my 4 grandchildren. This is Grady.
GB.
The GT. And this is Trip. And this is Ellie. And this is Ike, better known as Spike. This is my son Kyle, who was outside with the troops over here. And I just so want to thank my daughter and my son for all that they've always done for me, supported me in everything that I've done, and they are so behind me with this. Again, all my family, my extended family, and I am just so blessed. And you know, what we put into the city and the citizens is what we will get out of it. Thank you all so much.